So a month ago, so this is the one that has the clusters of golden flowers at the top where all this fuzz is.
Okay.
We're yellow golden flowers. Because where we have goldenrod, we usually have baby goldenrod coming up at this time. But okay. So when I see dead goldenrod, I start looking around for live goldenrod. Yeah. Somewhere. Blindly reaches around in his bag for an unsheathed knife. No. Kids, don't try this out. I'm trying to pull this from it, so I want to try and get as much root as I can. This one's pretty root. Yep. Yep. Okay. Back in there. Okay, so let's talk about goldenrod because I love goldenrod for a lot of different reasons. Okay, this time of year it makes a really good fire. Tinder for starting fires. The stem itself, if you're really good, makes a good hand drill for the hand type drill making fire. I suck at that, so Bic lighters, man. I usually have like 3 Bic lighters. Okay, if we move back in time, a month, when all this fuzzy stuff was, so all this fuzzy stuff were those golden flowers that we saw driving through the fields that everyone blames for their ragweed allergy. Because the goldenrod blooms when the ragweed is too, but the ragweed flowers are tiny, green, no one sees them. But this is the last flower of the season, and so everyone sees it and it gets blamed. So the flowers, they're generally the last food of the year for bees. So even though they have some good medicinal properties, I leave them for the bees because the leaves have the same medicinal properties. Let's talk about the medicinal properties of the goldenrod. Then we'll talk about the just eating it. But the leaves and the flowers, antibiotic, very potent antibiotic, can be used internally or externally. They are a good cold reliever, symptoms of the cold relievers, especially the runny nose, which also then helps against allergies. If you're having runny nose issues from allergies, goldenrod tea made from the flowers or the leaves will help with that. Because what it does is it helps tighten up fluid holding tissues. So a better example of this would be varicose veins. If you're familiar with the concept of varicose veins, that's where your blood vessels have started to become leaky and the pressure of your blood flowing through is kind of forcing blood out in places where it doesn't necessarily, isn't supposed to go out, and so you get these spidery, dark veins, thick vein things on usually in your legs, your ankles, and different parts of the body, because the tissue is leaking blood more than it should. So there's some really neat scientific research that shows a number of the compounds in the goldenrod help strengthen and tighten the fluid holding tissues. So starting drinking it is good to stop varicose veins, and it can take a while because your body has to reabsorb that blood and so forth, but they say a 2-year taking goldenrod tea every day for 2 years can actually get rid of many cases of varicose veins, which is awesome. So sinuses, fluid holding area, it helps tighten that up for short term and shuts down the drain. For the varicose veins, it stops the leaking of the blood there, and it just takes the body a long time to reabsorb the blood that happened.
Is it a permanent?
So, as long as you're taking it, yeah, but if you take it and then stop, eventually the tissue will start to break down again. The last fluid holding high pressure area. So Medicine Man Plant Co., the company that I am now the Medicine Man for, we sell the libido pill. I'll just let you work out the math. So there are certain parts of the body that require high pressure fluid holding capabilities. Yeah, the bladder, that's another one. So it does not help on leaky gut syndrome, because with leaky gut, that is a sphincter muscle, not overly porous intestines. So it doesn't do anything there. So mainly blood vessels, sinuses, and certain other tissues. We can ask after class if you haven't figured it out. Okay, so like I said, the flowers and the leaves have it. And okay, so like I said, when you start seeing the dead goldenrod, you start looking around the ground and you'll see brand new green sprouts coming up. A lot of times, so these grow both by seeds and by runners. So from the roots, there'll be runners, the thick rhizomes running out and connecting to baby plants. And I was hoping I could pull up a baby plant connected to a dead plant, but I was unsuccessful. This one looks like it actually is starting to come from the seeds. But so you got this root that connects them. Pale, floppy. If you're familiar with udon noodles, nature's udon noodle right there. If you want, if they're more mature, a little stiff, peel the outside and split it once, and then throw it in your soup and cook it up, and it's a good replacement. It's not starch. There is some starch in it because that's one of the things the plants do is they take the sunlight, convert this carbon dioxide to sugars, store the sugars together as starches in the roots. So there's some calories in there, but not enough to really eat it strictly for the calories. But added to other foods, it helps bulk up the calories and the flavor. Like I said, it's like nature's udon noodle. Really, really good. Going back to the medicine, I mentioned the flowers and the leaves both have it. So I'm going to set this down here for a second. So right now, this is, that tall. And during the course of the summer, it'll grow. So the leaves are usually what I collect for medicine and for food. I like the taste of the leaves. To me, they kind of taste almost a little bit like black licorice. Other people say it tastes more like a ginger or an allspice sort of flavor. This kind of boils down to your taste buds. Now, how many of you like cilantro? Anyone here hate cilantro? Okay, so you are a superpowered mutant with extra taste buds that can pick up the soapy molecule that these mere mortals cannot. Just go with that.
Sure.
So you have a more refined palate, so food tastes like crap to you. So, but everyone has different receptors on their tongue. So when we have goldenrod available and pass around, some people will say it tastes like licorice. One person said it tastes like chicken soup. They were erupting. But so it when you're describing the flavors of wild foods, it comes somewhat tricky because it's going to taste different for everyone, because there isn't a culturally agreed upon flavor like broccoli. We all, when we say broccoli, we know what broccoli tastes like. It actually tastes different to every one of you, but as a culture, we know that flavor is broccoli, even though the individual flavors combine stuff. Anyway, so, but because it has kind of a, to me, kind of basically has an Asian sort of flair to it, I'll use it in a lot of stir fries. So wherever I'm doing, or usually Sunday nights during the winter is hot pot night at our house, so we'll throw some goldenrod leaves in there. You can let it dry. I thought there was a critter on there. So after it gets about, what would it be, knee high on me, maybe 18 inches, you can snip off the top 5 inches. And it will keep growing from there. In fact, normally it forms just one stalk. But if you snip it off, and like this one looks like an animal nipped it off, it will split into multiple 3 to 5 new stalks, and they will start growing. And if you just let those grow, then you will get 4 or 5 times more flowers than if you didn't harvest it, if you didn't snip off the top. So it's actually beneficial for the bees if you snip it. And what's really great is, so you snip it here, and then it'll put 3 to 5 stalks up, and then you can take 3 of those stalks off. Again, when it gets about waist high, those will split again. So you'll end up really making a lot of goldenrod flowers for the bees while getting all the leaves you need for your food and medicine. So this is something that I had actually put like about a quarter teaspoon of crushed up dried greenbrier leaves in my coffee grounds and have it with my coffee every day. Had a good flavor. I'm a tall guy. The taller you are, the more likely you are to develop varicose veins because it takes a lot of pressure to get that. If you see me stand up, I do it in stages. I do it quick. It's a lot of fun for me, but kind of scary for you all. If you see me, just get out of the way. Don't try and catch me. It's my wife's rule again. She has insurance. Anyway, oh yeah, so I use this to help maintain the overall circulatory strength to handle the pressures I put it through every day. So now it's in the medicine man pill, but yeah, you can dry it, and it's good for over a year once it's dried. Our house looks like a witch's shop because there's all these plants hanging there. My wife is short, so she's I hear yeah. So let it dry. 2 weeks minimum, 3-4 weeks. Then crumble it up, put it in some sort of amber jar. If you don't have an amber jar, put it in a regular glass jar, seal tightly, and out of a cupboard or something like you would do with spices. But really good, just an all-purpose plant. Like I said, I probably consume more of this than anything else except for Yopon holly. Yeah, just about every day, taking it.
Is it edible in this form?
Yeah, so it's edible now. You could try it. I've been fondling it, so I'll let you decide if you want to eat it or not.